gentlemen, welcome on into another fantastic episode of Bar Talk. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, happy Thursday, happy Friday, happy Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it is that you are listening to this. I hope you are having the best day ever. And if the day is not going the way that you had hoped, you and only you have the power to turn it around, make it extraordinary, and make it the day that you want it to be. So guys, go out there and carpe diem this motherfucker. Okay? I'm going to do that today. I know I will. Okay, guys, welcome on back. We are at episode 76 today. Again, I am coming up on 2 years of doing this. So I'm like a super nostalgic person. I like reflecting, and I just can't believe how much has happened in 2 years. So my gratitude today, guys, is you. Every single person who's listened to this, whether you are a regular, whether you are a new listener, from the bottom of my heart, I am sending so much love and gratitude towards you for taking the time to listen to this and for letting Bar Talk be a part of your day. So who are we having on today? I am talking to a former preschool classmate of mine, preschool to second grade, and then all throughout high school. And this is Bobby O'Brien. You probably know him better as he was Brewski, and now his stage name is Dine and Designer. So I've known Bobby for a long time, have known Bobby has had a music career. Obviously, kind of once you leave high school, everyone goes down different paths, and sometimes you re-meet someone in that path. And that's what happened with Bobby and I. So I went and did my thing. Bobby went and did his thing. And then not that long ago, maybe less than 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago, Bobby and I reconnected, kind of moved back to Chicago and just got to see him a little bit more. And so we just got to talking and catching up and seeing what was going on. Obviously knew Bobby had an insane music career, but let me say this again. The reason I wanted to have Bobby on was because of his, I guess we'll call it a pivot, but it's not really a pivot. It's more of like he found something that he also loves on top of creating music. So obviously, guys, during the pandemic, a lot has changed. A lot of people have gone in different directions. I think it's forced all of us to take a look in the mirror to figure out like what it is that we want to do, right? So Bobby obviously couldn't go on tour. He gets into this a little bit later in the conversation, but his label wouldn't let him release new music, so he wasn't able to profit off of it. So he was at a roadblock, we'll say, of okay, like you got to eat, you have bills to pay. How am I going to make money? And Bobby ended up starting a online card ripping business, we'll say. So for those of you who don't know what that is, sports cards have really resurfaced in the last, honestly, I'd say probably within the last like 3-4 years, but it's kind of like it's on the upward trajectory as of right now. And I didn't even know this was something that Bobby was interested in. I had no idea. I've said to him, I feel like he fell into this and it's become an accidental passion, which I love. And guys, I remember hearing about sports cards like resurfacing from like a little clip video that Gary Vee did on Instagram. I swear to God, I think it was like back in 2019. And I'm just looking right now. I just Googled like the sports card business on Google, and it's insane to see the success stories that have come from this. The first one that comes up is how he started a $62,000 per month business selling sports cards. Why the sports card industry hasn't reached its peak yet is the headline by Ford's. Inside the booming sports card industry by Complex is the headline. And God, just so how I started a $10,000 per month business selling sports cards on eBay. So there is definitely a big market for this in a way that I didn't realize. And so I have served Bobby like behind the bar a number of times, and I'll pick his brain on it. And he's so passionate about it and he loves it so much. And again, I don't want to give too much away because I want you to hear like fully what he has to say throughout everything. But I'm just amazed at the one comment that he said, and that's, Jenna, I'm making more money selling cards than I ever have as a musician. And to me, that just like, I didn't even know how to respond back to that. Right. And so that then got me to thinking, I guess like, well, Bob, like, are you going to keep making music? Because he hasn't really released an album in, some time now. He has a lot of people that are wondering when it's going to happen. And you'll find out if that's going to happen. But the one thing that I feel so, I don't know, like certain in is his music. I think moving forward, it's still going to be Bobby, but it's going to be different in like a amazing way. And I say this because I heard someone say this analogy to me once about Tom Brady. Okay. And, Tom Brady, obviously now he's retired. Sad day. We talk about that too. But Tom Brady, for those years that he played football, like didn't really make a lot of money playing football, right? He had many different sources of income, whether it was sponsorships through his TB12 program. He has a clothing sponsor, like a clothing company, and all these different things. So really money was never a concern for him when playing football, where he was just able to go out there, have fun, and be the GOAT that Tom Brady is, right? And I think when you're not attaching what it is that you're creating to the like dollar outcome amount, the way that you create changes in the passion that you have for it just comes like blooming through in a way that it's just different. And that is what I think is going to happen with Bobby. His girlfriend and I, Jen, have talked about this, and I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait for what is next for him. So we're going to do that. But really quick, I do have to give a little sidebar shout out for a second. So the day that I filmed this with Bobby, I went to the shop. So I had to bring all of my equipment. Obviously, I'm not bringing the bar, guys, because like that's way too fucking much. But I had to bring like all of my equipment, right? And so I normally like have a little checklist of everything, and I forgot batteries. So when I record this on my like Zoom, it's called like a Zoom like at something 6 mic box or whatever. It needs 4 AA batteries. And I have a huge package of AA batteries, but I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I forgot AA batteries. And I thought we could do it. And then the minute we sat down, it died. I was like, no, Bob, I have to go get this. Like, give me a second. So I'm like, well, what's close? And we were on Pershing and Archer. And I'm like, oh God, like, is there like a Dollar Tree or something nearby? So I knew there was a Jewel like a half a mile down. I was like, all right, well, I'm going to walk down right now because traffic's crazy. And as I was walking down, I walked into a gas station, and I said, I'm like, okay, maybe the gas station has batteries. I was like, hey, what are the chances that you guys have AA batteries? They didn't have AA batteries. I was like, okay, really sad day, whatever. Next. I then go into what looks like a hole in the wall. And the address for this is 3778 South Archer Avenue, D&D Auto Electric Rebuilders. And Stephan was the man. I went in and it was like they just had a bunch of parts for vehicles. I have the card right here, and they sell parts for Ford, GM, Dodge, Chevy, Honda, Lexus, and Acuras. And I said to Stephen, I was like, hey, this is going to be weird, but like, what are the odds that you have AA batteries, like 4 of them? And he pulled out a huge pack of the AA battery packages. And I was like, oh my, like, I was like, I'll buy the whole thing from you. And he just cut it open and gave me 4 AA batteries, like completely for free. Was the absolute angel in gratitude for my day that day. So Stephan, the chances of you listening to this, I feel like are going to be slim, but I want to put it out there and say, thank you so much. You saved the day. And for anyone in the Chicagoland area who needs starters, and just other things that, to be honest, I have no idea about, please go give Stephan some business, because his act of kindness made my day that much easier. So I'm going to leave his phone number, the address. I don't know if he has a website based off of the card. I'm going to think not, but I'm going to leave all of this in the show notes. And if you need something, guys, go think of Stephan, because he just was wonderful. And I just was so incredibly grateful for him. Again, Stephan, thank you. So before we go ahead and get on into this interview, I have 3 things for you. Number 1, if you are a returning customer of mine, guys, welcome on back. If you are someone that is new, and I feel like we might have some new people, guys, welcome on in to Bar Talk with Jenna. We have new episodes every Thursday. We do new drink of the weeks every Friday. And we just have a lot of fun getting together, chatting it up, having a good old time. And I would love it if you guys would follow along. It is at Bar Talk with Jenna across the board. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. And if you are feeling extra generous today, I would love it if you would leave a review. Okay. Reviews help so much in growing a podcast. So if you could take 30 seconds out of your day, leave a 5-star rating. Say what it is that you enjoyed about the podcast, guys. It would mean the absolute world to me. You can leave reviews, I know, on Apple. You can now leave ratings on Spotify. I don't know about Amazon Music, maybe. But whatever you can do, seriously, I would really appreciate it. Tell your friends about it. I want more people to come to the bar to share a drink with us, whether that's an alcoholic drink, a non-alcoholic drink, whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. I just want you to come to the bar and have some amazing conversations with us. Okay. Number 2, stay until after my conversation with Bobby. I have a segment I like to call Here's a Tip for You. And this tip I've been using now for the last year, like fully. And I just feel a little, again, because I'm someone who's like super, what's the word? Nostalgic on like times and stuff. I really want you guys to use this. And I really believe that this is going to help you so much. Okay. And then number 3, guys, okay. Maybe you have an event happening. Maybe you just need something in your house that makes your day feel a little bit better. And what do I love the most? It's a candle. This is no secret, okay? The only candle I trust to have burning in my house is by LYW, LYW standing for Light Your Way Candles. And it is a reminder that on this journey that you're on in life, you and only you light your way. So if times get a little bit dark, light a candle. It brings a little light, a little bit of joy. It makes your home smell good. It just makes it's just so easy and it's so simple, and you can put it anywhere, right? Like you can put it in your bathroom, in your kitchen, on a shelf, anywhere in your house, and it works. So Hannah has some new scents and I want to tell you about them. The Reset, I'm obsessed with. Lavender, chamomile, sandalwood, sage. Seriously, like I can't get enough of it. But I will say the one that I wasn't expecting to like, because I normally wouldn't purchase this, but I got it and can't get enough of it, is the Sundays, okay, for my sunny boy. And it is mandarin, jasmine, ginger, and bergamot. It's probably because of the bergamot, because I love anything with bergamot in it. I love the colors. I love the simplicity, the simplicity look of the candles that she has. The High Tide is great. There is also some of my classics, one of them being the Class Act. Seriously, can't get enough of that. I have that one burning over by my dresser. Love that one. The Woodland is fantastic. The Rainy Wood, the Nightscapes, the Bubbly. The Evergreen, honestly, the Evergreen, I got to order this one right now, because what's great about it, it's rosemary, sage, pine, and Cypress. I hope I'm saying it right. But it's great and they're wonderful. And she has such a great options of scents. And guys, you are going to get 20% off your next order. So head on over to her Instagram page, which is at LYW Candles, or their website, lywcandles.com. Use code BARTALK20 at checkout to get 20% off your next order. Everything is linked in the show notes if you just want to head down there, scrape, scroll, and keep listening and purchase your candles while this episode's going. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and dive on into my conversation with Bobby O'Brien, aka Dyeing and Designer. Enjoy. I want to get into everything that's behind us. Okay. Before we get into all of this, I feel like obviously the people who know you know you from your music.
Yep.
So I want to talk about that.
Yep.
So first, what made you transition from Brewski to Dyeing and Designer?
So I grew up playing in like alternative bands.
Yeah.
Initially as a kid, playing rock bands, alternative bands. And then it was so hard keeping bands together in the sense like you got 5 guys that got to make practice, and when you're in high school, this kid's got track, this kid's got this kid's got the job. So like keeping a band together was challenging.
Okay.
So I had one successful band. There was actually a kid from Bridgeport that was in the band.
Who?
Nolan, he was a drummer back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And we were pretty successful. We were doing some big shows and things like that, but also everybody's on their own schedule. So that band, after a year, maybe 2 years of like really doing it, kind of broke up. And I was like, man, I don't want to give up music. So I kind of just started toying around and jokingly, being from De La Salle, everyone's kind of freestyling. I'm like, man, I could do this. So I did it, and it kind of blew the fuck up. So it was to the point where it was like no going back, and it was like, all right, I guess this is what I'm doing. And it just blew up. Did tour with like Borgor, all these crazy guys.
Yeah.
Did all that. Kind of got tired of that and wanted to go back to my roots. So I started Dyeing and Designer, which exploded crazy because I went through like a terrible relationship, and it was like heartbreak, and like that's what the whole album was. And it really brought a lot of people together. Toured all of Europe, did the whole boot of Italy, headline shows in like England and stuff like that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And signed with a label, all that crazy stuff. But yeah, now we're here.
So the last album that you did would have been Nobody's Happy, correct?
Yeah,
okay.
Nobody's Happy.
So, and like I know you and I had kind of talked about how that was a really it stemmed from a very not great relationship, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How did writing that album help you like go through it and move forward?
Yeah, so things just happen in life. I feel like every day it's an experience, it's a life lesson, and because of that relationship, it made me look at life a little bit differently, and I kind of just put it all, like it was like therapeutic for me. I put it all onto an album. The album blew up, 100 million streams, helped a lot of people. A lot of people could relate. But yeah, life's crazy. I think you just gotta there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable and putting yourself out there if you're 100% yourself. I think that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
Because
you just gotta be real.
A lot of people, they'll be envious or hateful but they don't understand what goes into it. They don't understand what you went through. They might say like, oh, yeah, Jenna's doing this podcast. She thinks she's going to be famous. And it's like, do you understand? You do it because you love it. And if you become famous from it, great.
Yeah.
It's another thing to be like, all right, let's get away from the bullshit. Let's like have fun and then do something. You wake up and you look forward to it.
It's a creative outlet where you can put all of your energy, frustrations, happiness, sadnesses, whatever, into this. So then... But no, I'm with you. It's like...
Yeah, because like if I sat at home... All right, so when I was going through that terrible, breakup, if I sat home, I would have, just... If you could sit there and do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Drink, be depressed. I was like, you know what? Might as well put this on, like, records, try and help people. And it actually gave me something to look forward to. And then it gave me a reason to wake up and be like, yeah. Like, let's go.
That's what I started this because I needed a reason to get out of bed. That was literally how it was. Because of COVID, I lost my job and I was like, I know me. I'm going to sleep. I'll watch Netflix till 4 a.m. Like I can't do it. Like I absolutely can't do it. I need to find a reason to get out of bed. And this was my reason to get out of bed.
Yeah, people don't realize life is hard.
No.
Everybody needs an outlet and escape from like reality for a second.
Yeah.
Work, life, things get tough. It's getting more expensive every day.
I know.
It's crazy.
So album blows up.
Yeah.
Did you go on tour then for that album, or was it COVID?
All right, so what happened? I signed with this. I started the album. It all comes back to Bridgeport, which is really weird. Grew up here.
Yeah.
You know, moved to Midway as a kid. Moved back, went to De La Salle.
Mm-hmm.
My good buddy Steve. Dude, my good buddy Steve, Bridgeport kid from De La Salle. It's, played in the hardcore band, with Steve.
Like the OG Day One
the
band?
OG, like the band that was good.
Yeah.
And then me and Steve were just hanging out, and I was going through what I was going through, and we would literally just, like, get beer, sit in his backyard, play, like, beats, and, like, write songs. And we did it as an outlet. It was, like, something to do. So I released this song. It blew up. 2 million streams.
Which song?
Lately. Like,
Okay.
2 million streams in, like, 3 months. I mean, now the song's got, 20 million across platforms, but blew up. Labels start calling. Managers start calling. I ended up signing with, I used to love this band as a kid. Silverstein, the drummer, he actually managed me at the time. And, crazy. So we signed, multiple offers. I signed with Hopeless. Recorded the album here. Went out to LA to, kind of give him the album, do promo. I ended up going in a bunch of sessions, meeting a lot of people, so I completely changed the album around. And not like 100%, but we just took things out, added things in, and blew up. And then I went on tour in Europe with Gianni Scandal. He's like a big Italy guy. He's also kind of same genre, my boy. We had a great time. We toured the whole boot of Italy, like the whole entire boot.
I love that.
Sold out shows. I mean, crazy. So then when I came back, I did my headline tour, and the headline tour was actually 11 cities in America. Like 6 of them sold out. Super awesome. But then COVID hit right after.
Right after the tour ended.
100%. Right after the tour ended, they were like, COVID. And then we were in lockdown. So I was like, fuck. Didn't know what to do.
As an artist, was there like did you have any like fears or doubts going through your head?
Yeah, I mean, everybody did. So I had the album. The album was out for like a year. I was ready to release more music. The label was not. They're like, we're happy with the album.
So they wanted to hold.
So in the meantime, I'm an independent contractor. I can't get unemployment or like I can't like I had to figure out like what am I gonna do to make money. So I had no fucking idea what to do. They would not let me release new music. I couldn't tour. I mean, it was the craziest time. Like mentally, I went back. They didn't care. They really didn't care. They were like, everyone's got to deal with it almost. And I mean, I understand, but it's like I had to get them to drop me. They would not let me release music for like 6 months during COVID. I said, I need to get out now.
So you had to get out of your contract in order to re-release music that you could profit off of?
Yes. So then I started doing that, and then those songs started blowing up.
Okay.
But then in the process, though, while I couldn't release music because I was locked down under their contract, that's when I started doing this card stuff.
Yeah.
And I started getting really good at it, and I started building a big community. And from that, that's why we're here, the business. But yeah, still to this day, smaller artists can't tour due to COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
And also the bigger thing is a lot of artists, the main artists, they have a lot of the venues. They held the dates for certain artists.
Oh, so a lot of them are backlogged almost.
Exactly. So if I wanted to go tour, I couldn't tour until probably 2024. So thank God that I started this business here.
That's
No, I swear.
insane.
I swear. I want to be able to do like a full-on tour. Probably small venues. House shows, bars, maybe small bars. It's tough. It's tough right now. It's like cutthroat.
Oh my God. So you start pulling, ripping cards. So for those of you who are watching this, you can like see the backdrop. For those of you who aren't listening, I'll try to best describe it. We're in a storefront. There's boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of cards everywhere. Everything from basketball, football, baseball, women's sports. We even have Formula One, which we talked about earlier. And I remember hearing about cards resurfacing back in beginning of 2019. I remember someone saying like, go into your mom's basement or in the attic or wherever you kept your baseball cards at because they are going to blow up again. And now here you are, 2022 with a storefront. So why did you decide to pool cards?
So it did start from being a broke musician, not having like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't go out and work. They were saying, stay home.
Yeah.
My idea was like, stay the fuck home. I was, like I said, independent contractor because so I was like, I got to figure something out.
So really quick, as an independent contractor, that means that you're still tied under them, but you can't earn unemployment at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's under my LLC, Dying a Designer, so it's not.
Got you.
Okay. It was weird, but whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I sports have always been my favorite thing in the world next to music. So, I mean, I could tell you any stat. I've always wanted to be a GM. Like, as a kid, that was my lifelong goal. Before I even started making music, I was like, I would play games like MLB The Show and just be deep in franchise mode and things like that. But contracts and drafting and, like, I nerd out in the sense of, like GMing, predicting the next guy. Like, I've loved that. So sports cards, like what happened, why the boom really, really happened. People couldn't go to card shops. It's always been around forever, but people couldn't go to card shops. So a thing called online breaking, where you would I'd open this box of cards for you, and whatever cards got pulled, I would send you in the mail. So it was a way of going to the card shop without having to go to the card shop.
Yeah.
But you could do a thing called a break, meaning, so here's an example. Like, this is a football hobby box, just came out. Not everyone can afford to come buy, like,
the
$650 hobby box, but
right.
they can break it. So we could break it down into pick your team. So if you're only a Bears fan, you only want Bears cards, you could buy the Bears.
Or could you pick the number of the card that you pull? Because that's what you do too, right?
Yeah, so I do another thing too, is you could do divisional breaks.
Okay.
So randomize the division. Say you end up in NFC North, you get every single team from the NFC, every single card pulled. So it's kind of a fun way for people to open high-end product for a cheaper cost, and it's actually pure excitement. Like, we get on my live streams 100, 120 people at a time, it's crazy because we built this huge community where we have all these guys are friends. We're all friends with each other. We mess with each other. There's a lot of females that come with us, and I've changed a lot of people's lives opening cards. I've pulled a $125,000 Tom Brady, pulled a $40,000 Tom Brady. I mean, the list goes on.
Well, and that's like
huge, I have 30 one-on-ones, meaning. Let me find an example.
I think there's a few of them. Those ones were a few.
Here's an example. I own this one. It's a 101 logo man of Luis Robert. I got an offer for about 12 grand on it, but there's only one in the world, so I own it. I set the market on it. I've pulled 31 one-on-ones in the last 3 months. I mean, because I'm constantly opening boxes, but. Like here, Justin Fields.
Like, Bob, this is like life-changing money for some people.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
This is, either you get out of debt, you can start fresh, you can move somewhere new if you want. Like, it's insane the buyouts.
Yeah, but it's also.
It
also could get expensive, right?
Yeah.
You could come in here and you can open you could buy a $50 box of cards and get $10 worth of cards.
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a little bit of a gamble in a sense, but I mean, if you're collecting to, just collect and it's a escape for you, it's more than that. Some people, they don't care what kind of cards they get. Some people are in it for the sheer fact of, like, gambling. Like, oh, yeah, I'm going to open this box and I'm going to sell the cards right out of it. Like, pretty crazy. Like, this Formula One, we ran a break on this. This stuff's exploding right now. Yeah. I mean, these boxes are $2,700. When they released, they were $400.
They're now $2,700 for just the box.
I pulled someone an $8,000 Lewis Hamilton. This guy right here, a week and a half ago, $8 grand off $260. They split the box, $8,000. So I mean, it is a gamble, but it's also pretty sweet.
It is pretty sweet. So I don't know. I feel like you kind of fell into another passion, which is kind of cool. What has this given you that you didn't expect?
Honestly, so I've always been a fan of sports. I've always been, I got season tickets to the White Sox. I go to X amount of Bears games. I went to 2 Bengals games this year. I mean, I'm always, like, sports are like my outside hobby, right? So it's crazy. Music has always been like a career for me, but it's crazy that like an outside hobby, sports, like I could really, take over and invest in players I believe in and make a ton of money doing it. It's almost like, why isn't everyone doing this? Like, seriously.
Well, because I think a lot of people don't understand. I think it comes down to people don't fully get what all of this is. It's kind of like NFTs and crypto and
yeah.
Bitcoin, and you know, there's all these, we'll put them like phrases and these new concepts of making money being thrown at you, but people don't fully understand it, so they're too nervous or hesitant to put their money into it, because you kind of want to understand something before you sign up for it, you know?
So there is a ton to learn in sports cards. I mean, there's tons of ways to make money. Graded cards, raw cards, going to card shows, buying out of dollar boxes. You could literally find $15, $20 cards in dollar boxes, and, you know, flip things like that on eBay. You could buy boxes and break boxes. You could buy graded cards. You can invest in players because you know they're low value buys. There's definitely a lot of levels to it. So learning about it definitely takes a lot of time. You're not going to be able to say, I want to do sports cards. I'm going to be able to do it right away. You're not going to be able to. You're going to have to talk to the people that know, you know, because there's so much. I mean, there's new releases every single day being released by Panini, Topps, Upper Deck.
Well, and there's new players every year.
Exactly.
Every year there's new players coming in.
Like, for example, this guy is probably the hottest guy in sports cards right now. Let me pull it out of this. Joe Burrow. We got his helmet right here.
Yes.
Joseph Burrow. All right, this kid last year, here's a small example. Joe Burrow last year went down with an injury. I think it was like week 5 or 7, something like that. And because of that injury, he got a real bad injury. I mean, season ending. And his cards, like, he was the number 1 pick. I mean, he broke all the records for most touchdowns, most passing yards as a college quarterback. And so his cards were high to begin with. But when he got injured, people started dumping his cards, and they started investing in a guy named Justin Herbert, who's also extremely safe guy. I think Justin Herbert's also, these two guys are the future of the league. But this guy, at the time when he was injured, was the time to buy.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have came back and been terrible. But right now he's in the Super Bowl. His cards are up probably 200, 300%. You can't even do that in the stock market.
No.
It's crazy. So Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl. Who knows? You know?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. No, I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy. So if someone is interested in wanting to start buying, you said right now we're filming this. I almost said it's March. It's not March. It's February. It's
February 1st.
February 1st. Baseball. Right now, it's the time to buy baseball cards.
In my opinion, and
explain like your reason as to why.
Yeah. So there's a time to buy every single player. There's a time to buy. You got to understand. You almost have to predict the future. Like I said, you got to play GM in a sense. You got to say, all right, you got to look at the schedule. There's a lot of things to it. I mean, with sports betting going on, cards are just getting even bigger. But like NFTs, you actually own this. You can actually hang this up. You can display this. This is modern day art. I mean, when I grew up a kid, you know, we grew up as kids, we were ripping Pokemon packs.
Yeah.
Not even thinking anything of it. And this is our modern day art.
I remember.
We're not hanging up.
No, I mean.
You know, no offense. We're not hanging up paintings. I mean, much respect to the painters and things like this. This is this was like.
If this is your cup of tea, this is something that you're putting on display 100%, in your home. And 100%. I actually, the guy who did my last tattoo, his little tattoo shop that he has in his place, he had these. And I thought of you right away.
Think
and I was
how
like,
nostalgic though. Think about when you were ripping Pokemon cards or watching the movies or the show.
And you didn't understand
playing the video game. How many people played the Pokemon video game on Nintendo? Not who's the one you
PlayStation. Nope. Game Boy. Game Boy. Yeah.
Everyone played that.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, looking at that Charizard, that makes me happy and it brings me back to good times.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with sports cards and players you believe in. Like, you know, if you truly believe in, Bobby Witt, he's the future, you know, and he ends up winning MVPs and things like that, or Luis Robert, you're almost like, I called that, I predicted that. Yeah. And it's close to you. So when you're going to these games, you're like, I'm going to see my boy Bobby Witt.
Yeah.
And now you're wearing a jersey, you know, I mean, this is Gretzky, but say you're wearing a Burrow jersey, like you're hyped. You're like, Burrow's my boy. I'm invested heavy in Burrow.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. It's honestly, I wish I would have got into it sooner. I mean, I got into it a lot
I think you got into it at the right time. I think
for sure.
Because you were the first person that I knew of who was really doing this, and then I met Jen, who is the pool queen.
Yeah,
so all of this was like super new to me, and I loved picking your brain about it and Jen's because I mean, I'm in sports, but this is still something that is like
It's
a
crazy.
whole nother entity and
Yeah.
a whole different side of sports, you know? Like, it's not even in the gambling side. Like, it's like sports, and then there's the games, and then there's like the television side, and then there's the card side, and then there's the gambling. Like, there's so many different branches,
and
you
that's
know?
that's it's the same thing with like sports cards. There's so many ways to make money. There's so many. It's like sports. There's so many narratives.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to go win a Super Bowl for, the jersey sales or people to be excited about someone, right? Because if Burrow doesn't win a Super Bowl, we're talking a lot about Burrow because he's going to a Super Bowl coming
Right.
up here. You understand? Like, people are excited now.
Yeah.
Cincinnati hasn't been in the playoffs in how long? It's the first time Super Bowl, and like this is crazy. So it's a culture to it. Even if they don't win it, like it's bringing people together, and it's like whoa. There's a lot of sides to just sports in general.
Sports brings people together in a way that I don't think anything else really can.
And then wait, you haven't seen what the sports card community is like. The amount of friends I have around the world. I mean, we have a page, 3,000 people on there, 3,000, and they're all my friends.
The Bridgeport Hobby page?
Yes.
Yeah.
On Facebook. Here, I'll pull the thing out. You can scan it. But
I love
got
a
friends in pretty much every city. So
Yeah.
if I'm out in Buffalo, I got buddies in Buffalo. If I wanted to go to, a Bills game,
Yeah.
I can stay. I got friends everywhere. But the community is so deep. It's like they're constantly trading. They're taking care of each other. They're like rallying each other when someone gets a big hit. But like you could scan this. This will actually get you in the Facebook page. But yeah, it's growing. It's getting bigger every single day.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think with Fanatics buying the licensing, I don't know if you know too much about
No,
all that.
what's that?
So Topps and Panini have owned the licensing for.
Topps is the brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Topps is like baseball.
I think I saw a Topps somewhere. Yes, Topps.
It's
Okay.
like a brand new Topps box. This is
And then
Topps
Panini.
Chrome.
Okay, yeah.
So Topps owns. They did own the licensing, meaning the logos.
Yes.
And
Meaning they own the logo to the team or just the logo to...
the logos to put on the cards.
Okay, got you.
And same with like Panini. Fanatics, who makes apparel, right? This is a Fanatics. It's funny, everything ties together. This is a Fanatics actually helmet. This is certified by them. So
Okay.
Fanatics does a ton of apparel. They're getting deep into the card game, and they do a lot of the jerseys. They actually bought the licensing from
Fanatics
MLB.
bought the licensing.
So now they bought the licensing. Now Topps, they bought Topps as well, and now Panini is probably on their way because they do like a Fanatics exclusive.
Yeah.
Panini drop, like a Prism Box. Like here's an example. Sorry, there's so many levels to this stuff.
I know, it's fascinating.
So here is a regular Prism Box. These boxes, I bought these boxes a couple weeks ago. These boxes are up like $120 in about a week and a half, all due to Joe Burrow playing crazy. So this is the regular one. This is the Fanatics exclusive, meaning Fanatics, they put like, special inserts. This one's
Yeah.
purple.
Okay.
Purple inserts. But if you hit like a purple Joe Burrow, I mean, you're thousands. I mean, you're looking at like a couple grand.
So talk about
Yeah.
to people too the shortage that
Yeah.
is going on, which is
Oh,
also
yeah.
causing the drive
yeah,
of the
yeah,
cost to go up.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's another thing we were talking about. So right now there's a paper shortage. A lot of people don't know this. Me being, card shop, speaking with a lot of other card buddies and things going on, seeing what's going on. There is a shortage in paper right now. So meaning
So weird.
these boxes are actually getting printed less than they normally are. So you'll see a box. I'll sell a box. For example, there was boxes we were selling, Illusion Hobby boxes. They were selling for $400 about a week and a half ago. These boxes are now selling for $500.
And they're just going to keep going up.
And they're just going to keep going up because the more people are breaking them, ripping them, case breaks, live stream rips, personal rips, the price keeps going up because there's less and less and less. And they don't want to turn it into a junk wax. I can't even speak.
It's okay.
They don't want to turn it into a junk wax era. Like back in the day, people say, people come every day and they're like, hey, I got these Jordan cards. So back in the day, they printed millions and millions and millions of cards. And
There's a sense of like exclusivity. Is that the
Oh,
correct word
yeah.
to it now? Because you don't want to
Exactly.
overprint them, because if you overprint them, you lose their value.
yeah, exactly. But the fact that now they're putting numbers on cards. So Justin Herbert out of 50. So you and 50 other people own the card, and you and 50 other people set the market. So if Joe Schmo in Tennessee sells the card on eBay for $800, he kind of set the market. And then
They kind of, yeah.
Tim John sells it for
$1,000.
$1,000. I mean, it kind of sets the market
Yeah.
so that you guys kind of are in this together. So it's all based on That's crazy. They're numbering things. They're printing less boxes.
Yeah.
And the more people that get into it, I feel like they'll start printing more. But they want to keep it kind of like, hey, the rarity. Like you can pull life-changing cards in some of these boxes and things like that.
Where do you see the future of this going?
Absolutely. So, like I said, with sports betting becoming legal, sports cards are just keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, more so because you can say, I mean, even like fantasy, right? Maybe you pay, $50 to be in a fantasy league. But say you draft Jonathan Taylor, and you're like, that's my guy. He's like won me so many games. You're like, I'm gonna buy a Jonathan Taylor card for shits and giggles, which a lot of people did. There was actually a guy who came in here, same exact story. That's why I'm saying it. He's like, Jonathan Taylor's my boy. He's been killing it all year. I want to buy some rookies. I don't know anything about cards. So we came in and he asked me, what kind of. So I stared him to some of the good ones, like under budget, and I'm like, I think these are gonna be worth some good money. Buy these ones. He came back a couple weeks ago and he was like, dude, that Taylor card you sold me for $10 is like $30 now. I go, see, I told you. So it was more so like, it's crazy. It's only going to get bigger, and they're going to make it, with Fanatics taking over, spending so much money on getting the licensing, they're only going to make it more mainstream. It's going to be, like I said, the modern day art. Like, it's a way of being closer to a player. It's a way of investing in somebody you believe in instead of, like just sitting on your couch watching it. Now you're like,
you're a part of the history of whoever the person is that you're investing in a weird way. Like you really are. Like you're a part of how much their value is going to be when they're playing, after they're playing, and that's a strange like power, and
it's crazy
to have.
It's almost like what's like a small example, it's like
give a White Sox example, because I know you got a lot of White Sox cards out right now too.
Right, White Sox,
that's what we speak. We speak that language.
White Sox example, right?
Yeah.
Like Luis Robert. This is a Bowman first purple refractor auto, meaning there is only 250 in the world. This is graded a BGS 9.5. This is mint. This card is like $4,000. If Luis Robert ends up winning an MVP, which I think
he will,
so many people do because he's such a five-tool athlete.
I don't think he's even like scratched the surface of what he can do.
He's so freaking good. So people come in. I own 4 101s. If Luis Robert ever wins a World Series or an MVP, I'll be filthy rich. And I buy them not trying to get rich.
Right.
The only time I would ever sell Luis Robert.
So that was my next question. Is like, is that something that you then hold on to, or do you sell that? Like, because at that point it's like, I don't understand. So it's like, am I then sitting on $50,000?
Yeah.
Or am I waiting for it to potentially go up? Like, so when is the right time to sell the card?
Yeah. So that's where it comes down to. So there's a thing called, like a personal collection, your PC, meaning you personally collect it. You plan on never selling that card. But I do this for a living, so there's a time to sell everybody. Like I was buying Joe Burrow. I mean, I had Burrow for a while. I've been buying Burrow since last year, but I started really loading up on Joe Burrow week 14. I go, they're going to the playoffs. They're probably going to win a game or two. I mean, Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty is a dog, and he's just got the natural factor. And
he's a dog, and he's really fun to stare at. So he's got great lips. He's got great lips. I can pull up the exact tweet that I'm talking about. I literally quote tweeted it, and I said he has great lips.
There you go.
You're never gonna be able to look at him the same way again, because all you're gonna do is look at his lips. It's my cousin's weird thing. You know how everyone has their like weird thing that they do. My cousin said it to me once, and then she looks at everyone. She's like, "Oh, great lips. Oh, terrible lips." I'm like, "What is it about lips?" So now that's sidebar. Anyways, back to what you were saying.
Back to what I was saying. So there's a time to buy. There's a time to sell. So when he got injured last year, that was like. And it really bottomed out. There's kind of like even stocks, things will bottom out. That was the real time to buy. But even like when I started buying week 14, because I'm like, they're going to the playoffs. He'll win a game or two. I started selling, a lot of stuff. I mean, who knows? Maybe he is the new Brady. Maybe he is the face of the league. Maybe I'm selling too soon. Maybe people buying right now, which are, buying the hype is right. But to me, when things are up, 200%, it's hard to say, because it might come back down. You can always buy it back, is the way I see it. But, yeah, he's going to the Super Bowl now, and his cards are going crazy. Yeah. Like crazy, crazy, crazy. But like Luis Robert, I buy him. Only time I'll sell him if he wins an MVP or he wins a World Series. So there's a time,
Time to sell.
Got to take your profits when they're there.
So what are 3, if you're starting out doing this, if you could bullet point the 3 most important things for people to know about cards, what is it?
Research, and research. Watch videos, read, talk to card shop owners, talk to people who break, talk to people, who do it as a hobby. Come talk to me. I will give you literally free information. I will help you build your collection. I do it for so many people every single day. Enter breaks, buy teams you want. Just have fun, more so doing it. But, when you're thinking, this is my mindset, try to think like a GM. Think if someone seems undervalued, buy him. Because, I had a guy, Peter, shouts to our guy, Peter, a local guy. He comes in and he's like, man, teach me some stuff. I want to know how you do it so well. And I go, he's like, we had a trade night here. And he's like, man, I was overwhelmed. He's like, there were so many people wheeling and dealing. I didn't know what I wanted to trade or what I wanted to keep. And I was telling him, I'm like, Pete, sometimes you got to buy stuff that you think is undervalued. Sometimes you got to buy, ooh, wow, kind of stuff that you could trade for something you want. Because cards, trading happens every single day. Mm-hmm. Shows, I trade with customers, clients, people every single day. I mean, there's so much to learn. But if you're having fun and you're just kind of like, it's better than, if you're spending $10 on McDonald's, why not buy a rookie card of Jonathan Taylor and hope it turns to $30,
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
A lot of research. Have fun doing it.
A lot of research. So I'm excited to see what obviously comes next with this and where this takes you, because it feels like I look at it and a visual aspect, there's a long road ahead for cards and it's a long journey, but I don't know where it's going. And I think that's the really exciting part about all of this.
The stock people say, to the moon. It's going to the moon. I'm telling you. You're going to watch this video and you're going to say, man, you're going to look back a couple months later, 6 months later, go, why did I not just buy one rookie card? Mm-hmm. Think if you would have bought Tom Brady rookie cards, this guy right here.
And think about how undervalued he was in his rookie season.
But that's another example. So, I'm deep into this stuff. You can go find their Tom Brady was like a 2-star recruit. Tom Brady was not supposed to ever be as great as he was.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, going through what he went through in his life, really made him the greatest of all time. Mm-hmm. Kind of like you watch The Last Dance. Jordan was like, I made things tick me off to go out there and be better than everybody else. You have to have that it factor. You have to have that motivation to want to be great. Mm-hmm. And there's so many undervalued. There's going to be another 7th round, 5th round pick that ends up being the future. Tatis, the White Sox traded Fernando Tatis for James Shield when the White Sox were in a rebuild. It made no sense. Tatis is literally the face of baseball right now because he's cool, he's swagged out, he hits home runs. He's the chains and he's cool, he's fun, he's having a good time. People like that stuff. And but Tatis was extremely undervalued. You could have bought his rookie autos for $20.
Fun fact for everyone: the most people in the NFL are first-round draft picks, 4th round, and free agents.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so if you're doing your research, do that a little bit.
Josh Allen had no D1 scholarships out of high school.
That's wild.
Aaron Rodgers had to go play junior college, and then he went to Cal. I mean, Joe Burrow was a 3-star. A lot of these guys, Josh Allen wanted to play so bad for Fresno State. Grew up in Fresno, went to the camps. He's 6'6", 6'5", big kid with a missile. Had to go to JUCO, and then goes and plays at Wyoming. They still doubted him. He's 7th overall pick. They're like, oh, his accuracy. You looked at him against the Chiefs, superstar. Should have won that game.
I don't even want to talk about that game. I'm so mad about that.
That's the thing, though. I mean, everybody is undervalued. You don't know where someone's heart is. You don't know where someone's head is. You don't know how much work they're putting in.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys could be up shooting free throws at 1 a.m. while you're sitting on bed trying to buy their, rookie cards. You don't know. You have no idea. So, like I said, research, have fun, and then sometimes a little superstition.
Yeah.
I'm something about this guy. I think he's gonna be good. Something about this guy. And it's really cool actually saying that. So a lot of these guys, people do a thing called prospecting. So this is a Bowman product. So This is where you get their first rookie cards for baseball. Kids out of high school, international prospect signings. I mean, you get their first rookie card, like that Luis Robert card I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
This is his first rookie card ever. And people prospect, they buy these guys, they rip these boxes, kind of stash them away, because you're not going to really see a ton of money on it until they start climbing the ranks.
Well, baseball is obviously a different breed compared to football, where baseball can take years for the card to value.
But the cool thing about it is, so opening a lot of Bowman and doing breaks and stuff and sharing some of the cards on the social media, a lot of these baseball players, they sign a lot of cards and things like that. So they're actually in depth. They're pretty excited about the baseball card world.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will respond to you. Like, I would share this guy, Maximo Acosta, who I think is going to be a star. I got a couple of Superfractor one-on-ones. Anytime we get cool cards of him, we share a story. He's like, oh, I remember signing that. And he's like, what's up, my boy? And, he's like, it's cool. You can have relationships with these younger guys because they're not in the bigs yet. They have no egos. Mm-hmm. They don't got, millions of followers yet, or a couple 100,000. These guys got 8,000 followers, 20,000 followers.
They're just excited.
Hyped.
They're excited to be a part of it and the potential of what could be.
And that's just anything in the world, man.
Yeah.
It's
oh
amazing.
my God. Okay. Let's circle back to music a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's changed a lot, I feel like, the music industry, and obviously you've kind of stepped away from it in a sense in doing all of this, which is done so well.
Yeah.
I don't really know the music industry. Obviously, it's not my cup of tea. So
this,
how would you explain it to someone?
So this industry, the music industry, like everyone says, Hollywood, extremely toxic, fake, just bad place. Not a good. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just not good for your mental health. It really isn't. It really isn't. Sports cards, doing this is probably the greatest, most loving community I've ever been in. People are so passionate and supportive, and it's crazy. It's literally night and day. And I'm not talking about the fans.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people that are involved in fans. Your fans, me touring and seeing fans and hugging them and getting to meet them, and that is amazing. That's the closest you ever be to them, but you don't get to see them on a daily basis.
Right.
This stuff is kind of crazy. People are actually almost in it together because it's a hobby, but I feel like it's going to turn mainstream. When it turns mainstream, the people that have been in it together are going to be like, wow, aren't we happy we were buying all those rookie cards because we're worth a fortune,
Look where we were when we started.
There's people literally buying houses with literally pulling a sports card out of this box. You can open this box and pull a, Justin Herbert gold vinyl, and you can literally, I think they're selling for $300,000, $400,000, graded 9.5 PSA 10. So you can literally open a box of cards and buy a house with the card you sold.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. I mean, but communities, man, it always comes down to that.
Yeah.
Sports bring people together.
It really does. It really does. And I feel like music brings people together too, from a fan perspective.
But you can't go see. You might discover a new artist, right? So that was my big problem. Is you can go discover a new artist. There's millions of new artists making music every single day, and it's amazing. I love music so much. But you can discover someone, but you can't go see them right now.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to be able to see this new artist you just discovered. And then you also don't know what they're dealing with, where they're at, what kind of job they got to go to every single day just to pay to record the music.
Yeah.
And with no touring, the income is only coming directly from streams. And when a label owns the streams,
that was my next question. What's
So for example,
because obviously the biggest thing right now,
my album made $200,000-$300,000. So the money I've seen from my label, not much, and they don't want to pay.
So I think of someone in the limelight right now who's kind of, I don't know, publicly went through it, was Taylor Swift fighting to own her music, right? So I think that's the biggest thing that people kind of know of. So for you, do you own your music? How does that whole thing work?
Yeah. So all the stuff I've been releasing, the new stuff, I own. But my last album, which I put my heart and soul, basically my baby, the foundation, they own. And I don't see any money from them. Industry's bad. So if you can own your masters and your rights, I mean, everybody obviously needs help, and labels are definitely beneficial, but if you can get there without a label, I suggest doing it, because financially it'll be better for you in the long run instead of taking, I think it was $40,000 the first album, $40,000. Now I look back at it, I'm like as a broke kid with a dream, you're like, yes, that's enough to make my album, and you know, and then we'll split the royalties and profit, and like, no, it's not like that. They don't send you money. They don't want to send you money. They'll find ways for that money to disappear. They'll say, oh yeah, PR and this and that, and they'll make shit up, and staff and this and that, and you're like, whatever, dude. I don't care. I do it for the fact that I love it. So new music coming soon. Had to get the business on the ground running. I mean, we've been doing it from the house, running breaks, and then the storefront we opened a couple months back, and just been going crazy ever since. But I'm working 16-hour days minimum, so it's crazy.
How do you see the music industry changing? Because I feel like more people now are wanting to be independent.
Yeah, the music industry is interesting right now, much like the card industry. So if you don't have distribution, like I got distribution, storefront, I get boxes at cheaper than if you were to try and go buy them from a shop.
It's like restaurants, yeah.
It's like restaurants and grocery stores, etc. But it takes a lot of spending, a lot of time to even get there. You can't just do it. The music industry is definitely interesting because, the touring. There's no touring, but
because that changes a lot of it too, right?
It does, because if you can't see your fans, it's like you're releasing a song, right? I release a song and I want to play it for my fans live, and I want them singing it back, but they're not because I'm not touring it.
Or they are, but you don't know.
And then
that's the weird thing.
And then
too.
Another thing too, it's like with TikTok, right? TikTok's another example.
Oh
So
my God,
here's a good example though. I started a TikTok when I opened this store 3 months ago. I have 15,000 followers on TikTok. 15,000 on TikTok. I got viral video just posting card stuff. Like with TikTok, people are scrolling so much.
Yeah.
Like people's attention spans are so short. So I feel like the problem with music, I can make 5 videos, upload them today. They could all go viral and I can get so many followers. I can't release 5 songs every day because then, people they hear a song, they don't understand the preparation that goes behind it, the money, the time, the writing, all that kind of stuff, the marketing. They want a new song. Like I feel nowadays with everybody's attention span, kind of like what's
this
next.
Big. It's so
no, it's like
annoying.
What's next. So because of that, I feel like it's tough on artists because now I just spent X amount of dollars. I spent X amount of money on a promotion campaign, put my heart and soul into this song. I love it. And then they're saying, where's the next song? I just dropped a song 4 days ago.
Yeah.
Like, appreciate what's there. So that it's tough. It's weird.
Well, and it's like the art of like what a body of work, like creating an album. People don't create albums anymore because people just want the viral, quick. Give me the one song, give me the single, and that's it because it's making money.
You're seeing a lot of TikTok, more power to them, a lot of TikTok stars turning into musicians, and then they already have the built-in fan base, millions of people, so they can just push it and all their fans will do dances or they'll create a trend to it. So, so TikTok stars, it's like almost like to a sense, it's another thing, like it's like, they can like blow up and push a song and make it a viral trend on TikTok. Meanwhile, you could spend months and months, working on a song and like bust your butt to release it. And it might not be meant for TikTok, but that's all that matters to the labels nowadays.
Yeah.
When I was with the label, they were like, TikTok, you need to push a TikTok, like on the back end of the stint. And I mean, it's important. Social media is definitely super important. I mean, even like in the card world, I post TikToks, I'm going crazy big on there. But TikTok definitely changed the music industry 100%.
Well, I think TikTok and even just like with Instagram and Reels in general, it's changing it because like I know for me, like I enjoy the longer format of conversation because I like what I get out of it. But I know people who listen don't. So
not everybody's got an hour or 30 minutes to listen to what you got going on. So they break it down.
I edit and like in each of my like Adobe Premiere, I have my main sequence, which is the video, and then I have anywhere from 5 to 8 smaller videos of segments to get out. So I hope it drives people to want to listen to this.
The whole thing.
But even if that, you don't even know if they're going to because people don't have the time span or the the bandwidth to listen to it.
Also,
but even back to the TikTok thing, sorry, sidebar. Trying to find a job now, even like in my industry, everything is like, well, what are their followers? What are their count? I'm like
100%.
I'm like motherfucker, yes, motherfucker, like. It doesn't. Do you know how many people have fake followers? It's such bullshit.
No. It's not coming. It's not coming down to. It's followers. Numbers are super important nowadays.
Yeah.
that's the thing with the music too. It's going, how many streams do they got? How
Yep.
many followers do they have? That's how labels, their mindset.
Their
are
mind
like,
is now, yeah.
It's not like, oh my God, that is the most talented person I've ever heard in my life.
Exactly.
They're going, oh yeah, she's really good, but she's only got 500 followers.
But, like, her numbers aren't that great.
She's not that good looking. Yeah, like, it's crazy. It's tough. It's like almost to the point, like, world's changing every single day.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess you got to just keep grinding through it. And
You got to keep riding through it. So you are going to make music again.
yeah, I got plenty of stuff on the backlog.
Okay.
Ready to go. Big songs ready to go. But, yeah, focusing on getting this stuff, getting my tasks done every day. Like we do the breaks and the in-store, the eBay, the shipping. I mean, there's so many levels to this stuff. The purchasing, distribution, all this kind of stuff. There's so many levels to it. So it takes a lot of time. Once I get this store booming, you know, you'll see me, a couple days a week in the studio and releasing more songs. And we're growing.
Do you have a timeline of when you would like to have music out, or is it kind of like we'll just wait and see?
So I was trying to get a song out by like Valentine's Day. I thought it would have been a great time, but I just got so slammed that I couldn't get the contracts. And I told myself this literally a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and I've just been too busy doing the card stuff to even have a second to do it. So
Right.
soon enough, it'll happen.
Okay.
Soon.
Do you think you'll go back on tour then too?
Yeah, I mean, never say
Why
never.
do you say it like that?
I'm saying, yeah, I mean, never say never. I love touring. I love my fans. I love the energy. But like I said, everything's booked out, man. You might see me in like 2026, dude. I'll be old as hell. 16 kids. No, I'm kidding.
16 kids. Oh my God, don't do that to poor Jen.
I'm kidding.
I do want to talk about Jen because I love her and I feel like you're so happy.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like you're genuine. No, like seriously, like
genuine.
Bobby is genuinely happy with Jen, and I'm curious how your music is going to sound different now because I feel like you are in such a good place mentally.
Yeah, it was definitely, I was releasing some songs that were, a little bit different. But yeah, when you're in a better mental place, you're not going to write super sad songs. You're not depressed, You're writing what's going on in your life. As, most, artists who are genuine, they're going to talk about what's going on in their life. You'll see someone say like, oh, Kid Cudi changed, man. Like, remember Kid Cudi? He was so emotional and dark, Man on the Moon and all this stuff. And everyone's like, man, Kid Cudi got me through like depression and all this stuff and anxiety, and like he dealt with all that stuff.
Back to Joe Burrows. Burrows just tweeted that the other day that Kid Cudi reached out to him. It's the big Joe Burrow.
It's what's going on right now. He's hot. But what was I saying? So Cudi though, he finally, he got successful and his music changed a little bit because his life changed. He signed with Kanye and he started doing a lot of songwriting, and his life got drastically better. He wasn't depressed, didn't know how he was going to pay rent or, dealing with the money, can make a lot of people's life a lot better. So, it's definitely, we live in a world, like, if you don't have money, you're definitely going to be hurting.
Yeah.
I don't care, like, who you are. You can have, if you're just paying rent, I mean, you got that in your head, in the back of your head saying, man, this is tough. This is hard. I wish I could go on vacation because, like, we're going back to social media. You got people that are, like, going on these crazy trips and they're posting about it, or they're at the Super Bowl and this and that, or like these social media influencers, but you don't know what's behind it. They might say, we're actually paying Jenna to be at the Super Bowl to talk about what's going on.
Right.
And this is actually promoting this part because she's going to promote this aspect of like skincare or something.
Oh yeah.
People don't know what's behind every single thing.
Yeah, or the amount of people, especially influencers that I know of, who get paid to go on vacations to promote hotels or destinations.
Oh, exactly. No, 100%.
It's insane. Yeah.
But it happens, and people look at that stuff, and that's the problem with social media. I mean, it's great, but it's also like people look at that stuff, and it makes a lot of people depressed. Man, why is my life not like that? And there's people in the card world, they get, FOMO. How come he's pulling, big cards for these people? How come I don't have cards like that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all, like I said, these boxes, these are all luck of the draw. You can open a box and get, life-changing cards. You can get some good stuff. Maybe he's a little luckier than you, or maybe it's just not your lucky day.
Yeah.
Maybe, one day you're going to come in here and your life's going to change. You're going to open a box of cards and you're going to buy a house and you're going to go, thank you, Bridgeport Hobby. Changed my life. It happens. I've changed a lot of people's life this year.
Yeah.
And I've changed people's life through music and cards, and it's crazy to say. Cardboard makes people happy. I look at this Charizard every single day, and I go, man, The good old days, dude. I look at this Tom Brady, I go, man, I look at this card and I look at that career and I go, I've watched Tom Brady literally beat everybody. Like the greatest of all time. And all those memories, the Super Bowl parties and, just watching it. You look at it and you go, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome. Oh, my. All right. Do you have anything that you want to say? Any closing thoughts, comments, queries, concerns?
Yeah, closing thoughts. Where I'm at. Whether, you watch this and you want to get involved in sports cards or not, just do your research in anything you're looking to get into. I mean, there's people that flip houses every single day and do things like that. But they didn't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to buy this house and I'm going to sell it for, 2 times its worth. Mm-hmm. Like, it takes research. So if you do have any questions, definitely ask the people that been doing it or know it or are knowledgeable. And, I'm always here. 3870 South Archer, right down the street. So come say what's up. I'll help you out. I'll help you build your collection. We'll make some money.
There we go. I learned so much from that chat with Bobby. So many things I didn't know about sport cards. Definitely something that I would be intrigued to kind of get into, and I'd probably have to spend or set a purchasing a limit amount on how much money I'd be willing to spend on cards a month. And I also don't know a lot about it still, but the one thing that I thought was really interesting on his takeaway is buying the cards in the off seasons, right? So right now, because baseball is kind of at this weird lull and we don't know if we're going to get a spring training, it's probably looking like nothing's going to happen on time. It makes me really sad, but this would be the time to purchase baseball cards right now and wait until after the NFL season's done and maybe start purchasing NFL cards in May. I don't know. It was just really interesting, the whole concept behind it. So I loved it, and so grateful for Bobby letting me come into the shop, seeing it's gorgeous. If you guys ever want to go and check it out, I'm going to link that in the show notes as well. And then I said I had a tip for you guys this week. So here's a tip for you. The only person you need to explain yourself to is you. We live in a culture where I feel like we feel this need to overly explain ourselves in every fucking decision we do. The truth is, you don't have to do that. There is one person you need to explain yourself to, and it's you. Because when you go to bed at night and your head hits that pillow, there's one person that you're listening to, and it's that tiny voice in your head. So if you and that voice in your head are good, it doesn't matter about the rest. Okay? The only person you need to explain yourself to is you. Listen to your gut, listen to your heart, and if they're telling you to do something, you don't need to explain yourself to fucking anyone. Remember that. Now go carpe diem and seize this day, motherfucker. All right. No, but seriously, guys, I have been using that. I had a really kind of tough thing happen to me about a year ago. And I did this mantra because I felt, to not get too much into it, I felt like my character came into question and I felt like I was attacked. And so I did this mantra where I'd put my hand on my heart and right underneath my chest on my stomach. And I'd take these big, deep breaths in, and I would close my eyes and I would say to myself, Jenna, you know your heart, you know your soul, you know your being, you know, Jenna, you are Jenna. And I would say that, and instantly I would calm down. And even though I felt like people were saying things about me and throwing things at me that weren't true and that were completely false, saying that helped me immensely. And since that's happened in this, never-ending journey that we're on in life, I really have learned that as long as I am listening to my intuition, I don't need to explain it to anyone. It's just me. That's it. Okay, guys, thank you again so much for listening to this episode if you've made it this far. And I hope you all take the time today to realize that we have way more in common with each other than we have different. I will see you next time. Take care.
Hey everybody, it's closing time. You don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here.